Hi and welcome back. In this video I will talk about how to build our workflow approval based on condition. For example, in AB invoice we have two types of invoices, matched to PO and non-matched. So in this video I will build workflow rules based on matched and non-matched. For example, if the invoice AB invoice is matched to PO, so it will not need any approval for matched invoice. But if the invoice is created manually without any matching or is non-matched to any PO, so in this case the AB invoice must go through the approval and first approval, second approval, list of approval, user approval or approval group, whatever. So let's start. Before of that, you have to decide in your current system or organizations how to build the approval. Are you still build your approval through BPM as a business process management, or through a spreadsheet as a workflow spreadsheet? Because as you know, if you start to build your approval through BPM, you still have the access to updated through PPM or whatever. But if you created or implement your approval through as a spreadsheet, so you don't have access, as in this case, to PPM. So the only way to you is build workflow rules through spreadsheets. Because what? Because the rules is different. If you are going to build a rule in BPM, it's different than the way to create the same rule in a spreadsheet. So this is the first point here. Because what? Because if you, in this video I will talk about how to create these conditions or these rules in spreadsheet, because in this instance we don't implement any approval in BPM. So when we try to start to implement the approval, the system, once we navigate to the PPM workflow, the systems tell us that you have to build your approval through workflow these spreadsheets. For example, if I navigate to the show all, and once I log in and navigate to this work list to show you the approval, the system will pop up a message that you have to build your approval rule through the spreadsheet as manage workflow spreadsheet. Let me go to home and just show all work list. I think it's based on also the versions. So for example, if I go to administration, task configuration, if you enter, for example, AB invoice, and click to show or search for the tasks. If you click on assignees, this is what I mean, that system tell you that you have to manage workflow rules in spreadsheets to configure the rules, either for payables, fixed assets, GL, whatever. But in case of you already build this approval before in BPM, so in this case you can still update or create the BPM or which you already created before. So in case of you still working on BPM, so you have a lot of rules, but I will tell it you later. For example, in the spreadsheets, once you navigate to the manage workflow through this one, just go to setup and maintenance, search for manage workflow approval, or from this search or from global search as a search here, just search by manage workflow. You will find manage workflow rule in a spreadsheet. You will find the assets, external bank account approval, invoice approval, journal approval, whatever. Select the approval applications. If you upload any file before, you can download it from here and update it and again upload it. If this is the first time, like here, external bank account approval, you can download the Excel sheet, build your rules, try to upload and check the status here is successful or failed or whatever, and start to test to check your approval workflow rule is working fine or not. So for here, for invoice approvals, I have to download this. Once I downloaded this, it will download Excel sheet like this one. There are a lot of tabs and instructions to tell you the instruction of how to use this file and generate rule file. This is the last step here. And invoice request approval rule, if you are going to build invoice rules or approval rules for the invoice request, or invoice approval rules for our invoice. So in this case, because this is invoice created in our system, so I am going to invoice approval rule. Invoice approval rules that as I told you that for matched or non-matched or whatever, for matched invoice, I will make the system to auto approve any EB invoice matched to BO. And if the invoice is non-matched, which is manual invoice, so it must go through approval, either user or whatever. So in this case, I created two rule description as you see here, one for unmatched invoice, one for matched invoice. This for unmatched, I tell the system that the approval routing will be user. You can create a group in parallel, serial, supervisor, whatever, based on your business requirement. But for the AB matched, I tell the system once you find any AB invoice is matched, just make it auto approve direct without any approval cycle. For the users, system told me what is the users. I put my email or whatever. If you assign approval group or whatever, the system will tell you please enter the rule name or group or whatever. For the auto approval, the system will not ask you to assign any user, rule name, group, because it means once the invoice is created, it must be approved automatically without any interventions from any user or approval group. But here the conditions, because the conditions, there are a lot of conditions. In the error priority, which is default medium, you can put it highest, higher, whatever, and the condition. The condition what? As you know, there are a lot of conditions. Really, I tried a lot of time or a lot of cases to resolve these issues, but finally I got this condition. What I mean that you have a condition at invoice header, invoice lines, invoice distributions, because at AB invoice we have 3 levels: header, line, distributions. So first I have tried to invoice header to include, for example, BO matched, yes or no, whatever, but this condition is not working successfully. Also, I have tried a lot of things which is related to BO or receipts, yes or no, or whatever. All of them is failed. So what I tried, I navigate to the next level, which is invoice line. This invoice line, I just select the same, which is BO matched, yes or no. I put it for the non-matched invoice or unmatched invoice with no, and the matched is yes. That's it. There is no any other conditions. You have to put it here to check your approval. Once you finished build your rules, come back to instruction. Before of that, you have to go to file and save the file. After that, you can come here to instructions and generate rule file. The system will generate like CSV file. After that, you can come back to this manage workflow rule in spreadsheets and upload your latest file, which is generated by manage workflow approval through spreadsheet through this button. After that, the system will give you a pop-up message that the system will uploaded or updated the existing file. Tell them yes. After that, check the status here. Once it's successfully, this is finished, so you have to navigate to the payables to check your approval rule. Is it working or not working? Just I navigate to the payable invoice. I just go to create a new invoice. So what we will do, we will create two invoice. One is matched and one non-matched. For our example here, that for the unmatched, it must go to through approvals. It must be submitted. After submitted, it will send to the approval, which is this email as a users. But for the AB invoice matched, we get approved without any interventions from any user. So we will start to create matched invoice. Matched invoice, in this case, either you have to select BO from the header, or just enter the business unit, supplier, blah blah blah, and go to lines to make match invoice to BO. So for example, if I enter the BO here, it will give me the data based on the data which is created in BO. I just enter the number, enter the amount. After that, I go to the line invoice matches to select the probable line. So I will select, for example, finance quantity, apply, and OK. The invoice now is created. So I am going to save, validate, like any invoice. Okay, and you can try to post or whatever. Now if you check the status of the approval, you will find that the approval is required. Here, validated, you will find approval is required. Just what you will do, just go to invoice, initiate. Once it's initiated, it will also give you the status like initiated. But this initiated, it not means that it will went or sent to any person or whatever. Just wait some seconds and again come back to check this approval, because if you navigate now to transaction console to check this AB invoice there, you will not find this AB invoice, because this after some seconds, at least 1 minute, the status will be changed to workflow approved. Workflow approved means that auto approve automatically. Still initiated. Just try to save, wait some times. Now it's workflow approved. Workflow approved means it's auto approved. Because of what? Because this is matched, and in your workflow rules you mentioned that the matched invoice will be auto approved without any approval. And also if you try to check, for example, pay in full, you will find this must be approved, no problem. You can go to save and try again. You will find the payment is open now to complete it. Now I need to create non-matched to check the status of the approval. So again, I will select whatever the required data and number, and for example, enter the lines. This invoice is not matched, so I will enter data manually, either distributions, tax, blah blah blah. And again, save, validate, create accounting. Try to post. The same status you will find once you click on validated. You will find that the approval is required. Again, invoice action approval, initiate. AB blah blah blah. So now it's initiated, but in this case it will be sent to the approval. proper approval based on your approval workflow rules to take the actions. In case of you just go to, for example, invoice action, view approval, you will find its approval is my name because I put my email in the approval, for example. So we can also wait some time to check the status here that I will receive the invoice. This is the invoice received now to take the action. If you click on it, you will find this invoice, the same everything what I put here, it will be there. This is, I can approve, reject, or if I need more actions, I can open here and more action like delegate, reassign, request more information. Another question here, if I need to build or to make an invoice matched but through invoice lines, without any identifying a PO here, once I put the data here like business unit, supplier, date, amount, number, you can also navigate to the invoice line here, match, to put the PO and the receipts and the quantity and the match. Also, it will be considered as a matched invoice because in our rules we put the condition at AB invoice lines, not the header. In case of you still using BPM, so in this BPM as a business process management, as a workflow to build your workflow rules, so you have to follow like this document. I can put this in descriptions that how to build it through BPM, because in BPM, as I told you, the build rules in BPM different than build the same rules in spreadsheets. For example, as a solution one, that PO matched lines, so you have to auto approve if all item lines have a PO ID, so you can put like this condition. The second condition is that this PO non-matched PO invoice, so in this case that in case of the invoice is non-matched, it will route to approval 1, approval 2, or whatever's based on your business requirement. So here, if no item line with PO ID, also build this condition. The third condition that if invoice mix of PO matched non-matched, again you have to build like these rules in BPM. But because of I don't have BPM currently, as I show you that I have only build workflow rules through spreadsheets, so I cannot test this rule. If you're still using BPM, you can try to test it and tell us the results. This is how to build approval rule based on the invoice is matched or non-matched. Again, to be honestly with you, I have tried a lot of solutions through invoice headers, but all of them is failed. Once I remove all of the conditions from invoice header and I just put this at invoice lines, everything is working fine as you show or as you see now. Good luck. Thanks for watching.